What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another R3 cast with myself, Rob finds treasure below me where he belongs, Ravenhawk coins in the bottom right, and Keith from the Coin Crew. What's going on? Hey, I wonder if there we go. I can move Keith.
Yeah, that's more like
bottom. Don't worry about it.
That's what, how do we gotta
we got the gray shirts and the black shirts.
There you go.
We have the no beards and then the beards.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome back to the show. As we do every couple of weeks or sometimes a few weeks, depending on how life is going, we like to get together and chat with you guys live. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, including what's in the title, which is the fact that the silver premiums are absolutely insane. Ooh, Rob, you're getting choppy down there.
I'm getting choppy?
Yeah, you were choppy a little bit. Maybe it was just on my end. Now you're blurry.
Oh.
But how, guys, before we even get started, I want to introduce the three co-hosts with me. Right off to my side here, we have the amazing Ravenhawk Coins, who just got done hosting back-to-back coin shows. Raven, what's up?
Hey, man, just happy to be here. You know, for those of you that don't know, we all really do bust each other's chops quite a bit and stuff before we start the shows, and it's always a blast, and these go by so fast. But I wanted to say a big thank you to these three guys for driving as far as 1,000+ miles, Mr. Keith down there, to come be a part of the show. Seeker came all the way from St. Louis. Rob came from Frisco, Texas. You know, it wasn't like I was just down the street. So I wanted to tell you guys publicly, thank you very much. I really do appreciate each and one of you.
I mean, it's no problem because, you know, I get away from St. Louis for a couple of days. I'm safer, you know.
No, I had a great time being with you, Raven, and well done on your first show. And that was, to me, it was a lot of fun, and it seemed like a lot of the dealers had a good time as well.
Thank you, brother.
Yep, a lot of the dealers that I had talked to on Saturday thought it was a great show. So it was really cool, and we got to run into a lot of people. Silver Merchant was there, M4A2 Master, Ida was there. You know, obviously, we had the amazing Sergeant Stacker, who presented such a lovely gift to Raven, which was great. Teacher was there, which gave Rob and Raven some really awesome gifts. And mine that he gave me is behind me as well. I'm just kidding. Mine's going to be on its way, apparently.
But no, Boston Baked Beans was there, too.
Oh, yes, of course, B3. Love hanging out with that guy. We actually hung out, me and B3 hung out in the break room for like an hour and just chatted. Such a great guy. And had a really good time talking to him. Speaking of, down in the bottom right here, we do have Rob Finds Treasure, who spoke up a little bit, but I want to, of course, introduce Rob Finds Treasure.
Hi, everyone.
There you go. And right below me, we have Keith from the Coin Crew. Keith, like Raven said, drove over 1,000 miles to go to that show. And it was great to have him there. Yeah, you're down there in some weird, like, I'm trying to become some sort of like 17-year-old gamer background there.
It was on the computer. I'm like, oh, let's do something different. You know what they say? Dare to differ, have some fun.
Is that what they say?
I don't know. I just thought it would be cool to say it because I'm just a guy.
What was that alien movie that it was a Call of Duty, but it was the alien skin on the guy? What was that game called?
This seems like a video game background.
It is. It looks like it's that game.
It does. Why can't I remember that name?
I can't remember it either. It's bugging me. It's driving me crazy.
It was huge. It was a huge game.
It looks like it looks like you're about to launch like a spaceship out into space with some crazy lasers. Right?
It's Battlestar Galactica, Keith.
Yeah.
Halo. That's what it was.
Oh, Halo. Yeah.
Halo.
There you go.
It was like a Halo background.
I need all the help I can get to heaven.
Halo. Good game. I played a lot of Halo back in the day. You know what's up.
Yeah. Resident Dragon says Halo. But no,
so guys, I will be paying as much attention as I can to the chat, trying to pick out questions from the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there. And of course, we're going to get started. And I want to start by talking to Keith below us while we're waiting for a few questions to come in. Keith, what the heck is going on with premiums, man? Premiums on silver keep going up. You were just saying something about how much. So Raven, you work part-time in a shop. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to get your opinions first, but I picked on Keith first. So, Keith, what's going on? And then we'll get on Raven on it as well.
Well, there's points. I mean, if people are bringing me new-looking silver, I'm offering $4 over. The wholesalers are limited. They're a few weeks back. Some of them as much as 6 weeks, some of them late November. So used silver, I'm like $3. New rounds, I'm like $4. And people still, they're like, I don't know if it's enough. I think I'll hold it for a little while longer. Nobody wants to sell it.
So nobody wants to sell you rounds at $4 over spot. Raven, is that the same thing happening at the shop you're in?
No, the shop I'm at, man, the minute we get it in, it flies back out the door. One person selling it. We're putting it on the back desk right there. They leave because you don't want to be rude while somebody's there. When they first sell you something, you don't put their stuff out instantly, right?
Right.
Well, we've literally put it down, turned around to do some other stuff. Somebody walks in and we're like, oh yeah, here you go.
So are you having people say no to like $3 and $4 over spot or whatever you guys pay?
No. They're taking it.
They're taking it. Okay.
Some people are happy with a little bit of we get very rare does somebody say they don't want it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Keith, we're in two different markets. You're way up in Michigan. We're down here in Oklahoma.
Big city versus small town.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. The town that I work in, even though it's a full service town and it's a nice town, it's still not big city like St. Louis or up in Missouri or even down Dallas Fort Worth by Rob. Wow, there's 6-point-something million people in that immediate area there.
Yeah, because you're next door to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a town St. Louis is. I mean, I guess the county's fine, but if you go down to the city,
they're dealing 2 million people in the St. Louis area if you count the counties.
Well, you have to count the county though. You count the city.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
You know
what they trade in St. Louis, like in the city? Lead.
We have in the town of Muskegon, we have like 45,000 people. And you don't get no real population until you go all the way over to Grand Rapids. And then it shoots us up to about 600,000 people in the area. But you have 5, 6, 7 shops in Grand Rapids, and they're not going to come, 35, 45 miles away to come to me.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What's crazy about my area is there's 10 million people in the Metroplex.
Oh, it's right.
There's less than 5 reputable coin shops within 45 minutes to an hour of me.
Oh, wow.
Really?
There's a big demand, and there's a big demand for coin shops in my area.
Hint.
I'm not fond of opening one up, but that would be something that if somebody did, this would be the area to do it.
Rob, you would make a killing out there. You would.
I know, but I don't want to have to deal with the brick and mortar and deal with all the BS that goes along with
all the headaches along with it. That's true.
I have zero interest.
It ties you down.
Hey,
if I were to do something, I'd have a 200 square foot strip mall building that was basically a We Buy Gold and Silver shop, and I would hope for some numismatic stuff along the way.
So, hey, Keith, I got a question for you. I want to ask about gold. What are you paying over spot for 1 ounce gold eagles?
I'm a cheapskate.
No, just tell me.
I'm only paying 125 over. I'm a cheapskate.
No, listen.
I'm transparent. I'm honest. I'm buying it cheap right now because I'm worried that the premium may disappear.
Listen, no. 125 is fine. See, the reason I brought that up is because, I released a video a few weeks back where I called around trying to sell the $10,000 worth of gold. And I still get a lot of views on that video. And daily, I have at least 1 or 2 comments from people that say, why would a shop pay anywhere near spot price to have to turn a profit? And here, actually, I'm going to read this one to you word for word. Hold on. This one cracked me up earlier. To the point that I had to respond, unless he deleted it because I kind of destroyed his point. Hold on. I did. I was like, dude, maybe he deleted it. You know what, though? I took a screenshot because I'm going to use it in a future video. Of course I took a screenshot. He goes, this is from RJNY51. He goes, I just turned your video on. As a precious metals dealer, you have to make a profit. Profit is not a dirty word. If you go into a store at 3:30 in the afternoon and strike a deal to sell your coins and walk out with cash, and the next day the market goes down further, who's left holding the bag for the decline in price? Which I totally understand. None other than that dealer that you sold the coins to. Reverse the positions, and I'm sure you would like to make a profit as well. And then he says, bullion dealers work on the slimmest of profits margins, which I also understand. But let me sum it up. He goes in to say, why would you want to tie up $1,980 for a $20 profit margin? So when you pay $125 over spot, you're making more than $20 when you turn around and sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're selling for like $225, $225, $250 some right now over spot.
I did a follow-up video on a video that you did about dealers running out or whatever. I did one out because I had went to the show, and I was talking about what dealers were paying. They were paying 150 to 200 over spot, and they were selling for 200 to 250 over spot. I mean, the margin was right there. Some of those guys were making 10, 20 bucks.
Right.
And they didn't care.
Right.
Buy it
Well,
now.
it's easy to sell though. Like you don't really have to worry about the market or the margins turning around on you too fast unless you plan on sitting on it for a while. But I mean, it's easy to just move, right?
Very easy. I actually went to buy, but I took 2 ounces of gold for, just a crap of it. 1826, which was $200 over spot.
Gotcha.
I sold them as soon as I put them out.
I hate to keep leaving you out of the conversation, Rob, but I'm going to get the Raven again because, again, he's working in a coin store. Raven, with gold in your shop, how's that working out for you guys?
My boss does it an interesting way. He keeps a certain amount on hand at all times, and he will only let you buy 1 ounce of gold, maybe 2 ounces of gold for cash. He prefers check. Anything above that, he's really on top of it. As far as what he's charging or paying, I don't really, I kind of don't want to put out his own personal business.
Yeah, I totally get that.
But I do know that like Eagles, I think when we sell them, they're 250 over spot,
Yeah, which is about what the market is right now. So every time I see like a comment, that guy's was actually a little bit milder than some of the other ones. Every time I see a comment, from someone about like, why would they pay anywhere near spot? It just blows my mind. It's like, it's a total disconnect.
Well, there's something that I also had somebody that hit me about, well, since you work at a coin shop, you must get the best deals ever. And I said, well, wait a second. When we do get a little bit of a break, but when somebody comes in and the shop buys a collection, I don't get to turn around and buy it for what my boss bought it for.
Right.
I have to still pay close to, a little closer to retail. And sometimes I put my own foot in my mouth. I'm like, oh, I don't want to pay that much, but it's a nice coin, so I do it anyways.
Right.
Because I do have that overhead to be concerned about and, making payroll and everything. So when I see somebody make a comment to you, like it's insane that any shop's making any money, that's just asinine. It's really, really narrow-minded,
Right.
I went, if I could interject, I went to the show last week in St. Charles, just outside St. Louis, and the wife called me and asked me how much gold was over spot, and it was just what Raven just said. I said 250 over spot, and the guy looks at my wife and says, "I'm not paying 250 over spot. Last time I bought one off you, I paid $75 over." And I'm thinking to myself when she told me that, I'm thinking, well, it's been a while since he's been in.
Right. It's the whole silver squeeze. I know I hate to keep like attacking that point, but that really is when it began. I mean, I have receipts from, stuff that I had bought right before February of 2021 where the premiums were normal. Like Silver Eagles were under $4 over spot. Rounds were, $1.50. You can say COVID all you want, but it really wasn't until February of 2021 that this happened, and it just isn't going away. I want to take a couple of seconds. I don't always see them whenever channel membership shout outs. They don't show up in the StreamYard chat, unfortunately, but I did in the corner of my eye see some green pop up, and I see there's 2 people that did them. The super chats do pop up, and we will obviously always prioritize those, but of course, membership shout outs I don't want to miss either. Rich Fontaine with the 12 months just says, oh boy, and I assume that's because we're all together. Guys, love Rich Fontaine. What a great guy. And thank you, Rich, by the way, for adding silver to our silver chest. Literally, this thing is, I have to go to Hobby Lobby and get a new chest. Look at it. It is overflowing.
Get a bigger one.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And then Bacardi Jim says, who knows when Silver Seeker will live stream again. So hello, y'all legends. LOL, much love. I was actually live this last Saturday. Okay, so I have a question, says Old Man Jenkins 771. This comment's 12 minutes ago, so that's how far back I am in the chat. He says, the foam that comes in the showcases, does it scratch silver and gold?
The gun cases.
Oh, gun cases. Okay.
Just trying to make it chat friendly.
Gotcha. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think so. Keith? Rob?
I don't put foam
I
around
mean,
my coins.
I guess if you had.
I think
No,
he's
I don't
talking-
think it
no.
would. I mean, some of those cases, some of the foam does have a little bit of like it has a little film, a little plastic film over it. Not a plastic. What do you call it when it's like the foam is a little scratchy, a little starched, and it feels like it's starched. I mean, I wouldn't use it to store raw coins, but if you have coins in tubes, that'd be fine.
The only
Not only-
foam-
I don't know if you experienced cracking open like an old Canadian one that has the foam in it that disintegrates,
Yeah.
gets all over the coin, and now you're going, well, I can't really brush it off without messing it up.
Right.
foam that I found that was okay for coins is the foam that's in the airtights, and they just go around the edge. That's
Right.
specially processed for coins.
S-Free 1979 says, just wanted to say thanks for the stream with a 31-month member shout out. Thank you so much, S-Free. And by the way, Bacardi Jim was 28 months and Rich Fontaine was 12. I didn't shout those out.
You know
Goat
what?
says, go ahead.
Really quick, Old Man Jenkins is probably referring to if you have like a tube that has a gap, can you cut up some of that old case foam and stick it in there as a spacer? And I don't think that's a problem at all.
Oh no, not at all. A lot of the round tubes come with like little foam spacers already.
I save them.
So Goat says the Perth Mint is expected to do a 70% increase on their premiums in the next few months. Wow. I don't even know what Perth, like I'm guessing
Australia.
buying directly. No. I know that. I don't know what their premiums are now. I'm sure it's high.
They were reasonable, but like they got sold out of their stock the other day, like within almost no time, from what I understand.
Fair enough. So here, let me ask you a question. I made a video before we get some more comments. I made a video, where I was talking about that, based on what I saw at like the Norman Coin Show where I went with Raven and what I've seen in coin shops and from talking to coin dealers, that it's not that there's a physical silver shortage, but there's certainly a shortage on like 1 ounce rounds. Do you guys believe that? Or because I have a lot of people saying, I had one dude use the trust me bro argument. He goes, there's definitely a shortage. Trust me, bro. I love that argument.
As
But-
far as silver goes, it's the rounds that are hard to get right now.
Right.
Bars are no problem at all. It's literally 1 ounce rounds. And
Right.
I've seen, local distributor, you probably even know the gentleman. I know you're that there's other people that know him, but I'm not going to throw his name out there, but there's a guy that goes to pretty much all the different coin shops and supplies them with silver here in Oklahoma locally. And he has told them a couple months out is the earliest that he thinks he'll have them. And that's not even guaranteeing a date. That's literally just telling you, I think I can get it in the next 2 months.
Right. But bars aren't hard to get at all.
No.
Right.
Bars, 5 ounce, 10 ounce, even 1 ounce. We have a big old stack of bars at work, it kind of goes to show you what people prefer, as far as collecting. But it is amazing the demand, because we've had some days where literally we've sold 15,000 ounces of silver in a day.
Wow.
I mean, that's insane. But
is
we
insane.
literally have done it. And, that when you have that kind of demand going on, that's why it's hard to get rounds in big quantities.
What about you, Keith?
Oh, I was just reading Dante Ramirez's comment. I wasn't really listening.
Oh,
You were talking about the scarcity of the silver.
yeah.
I think it's actually becoming more scarce because of the situation, just like my town versus Ravenstown, being in a smaller area. I'm starting to experience it quicker, where people just don't want to sell because they don't feel it's high enough or it should be higher. And I think that's what we're facing. It's not that there's really a shortage. It's just that the retail investors are like, no, I ain't gonna sell it. I want more.
I just saw Ravenhawk Coins. Wow, been a long time member myself. 49 months, Raven. Thank you. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. Sorry, like I said, those don't pop up on the StreamYard chat. Go ahead.
You brought up earlier about stuff. I remember we used to complain about 90% hitting 15 times face and how we thought it was insane. And now, I'm at the shops, they're averaging 25 times face, give or take, depending on the shop. Even Atmex is up there pretty high with the constitutional and junk silver. So all around, I think what Keith is saying is pretty much on the mark, that people really aren't wanting to let it go for the lower prices like they used to.
So at what point do you guys think, like, what does silver get to when people start dumping it?
40.
40, you think?
I think when they can get a $40 price tag, and probably a $28 to $30 on the 90%. It's coming up. It will get here, whether the physical or the virtual market gets here or not. The physical will get there. It's like right now, the retail on dimes and quarters is around 24, and the retail on halves is around 90 or 28 for 90%, and the rounds are around $8 over.
Right.
It's getting there.
Wow. Huh, it's crazy. Yeah, the reason it's funny because anytime I think about like there being a silver shortage, and then I think about how many people they're sitting on silver, and there's a lot of people that buy silver, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to hold on to it because I don't trust in the dollar, and I don't trust the government. We're gonna be an end of world scenario, and I need my silver." But let's be real. Like 95% of people, there is a number where they will take cash. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, when you hit that number where the majority of people are like going to sell it, you're going to have a glut of silver, and it's just going to drop right back down again, I think.
It's done it twice in history when it hit up to 50.
Right.
I still have some of that $47 silver that JP Morgan dumped on us. I kept a roll on purpose.
Whoa, guys. This also does not pop up on StreamYard. I want to shout this out. Dude, Michael McGaha gifted 10 Silver Seeker memberships. Holy smokes, dude. Thank you so much. Resin Dragon, Brent, Terry McKay, Roger Sr., Chip Warner, Hoosier Tech, Retired Old Guy, Junior Samples, Texas Living, and Silver Wishes all got channel memberships from Michael McGaha. Thank you so much for that. That is awesome. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, give it up to Michael. I'm sorry. Yeah, all that stuff, guys. I'm going to go ahead and skip all the way to the bottom of the chat. So if you asked a question earlier, just repost it because I was it's 7:22 and my timestamp where I was in the chat was 7:04. So
here's the thing. I think, honestly, depending on what people sold it at, you got some people that mid-30s, they're going to dump it. You're going to have like little groups that'll dump it at a certain price because they finally hit that price point that they were looking for. And when it happens, the price silver is just going to go down. Because you can't have a huge sell off like that, and all of a sudden all these coin dealers are stacked with silver again and expect it to keep the premiums going. It just doesn't work.
Rob.
That way.
Right.
Hello.
I know Rob's been so silent tonight. We're gonna get him in here. Silver Seeker.
I had to say hello.
I do not need to talk unless I'm asked to.
So it says Silver Seeker modern $1 commems have the same AG weight as a Morgan, which is accurate, but way less premium, also accurate. I've been buying a lot for $20. It's still more AG than 2 halves, but way lower per dollar. That's actually, I would buy that stuff at 20 times. Yeah. 100% because you're getting more silver. So there's 0.775 ounces of silver in a silver dollar, whereas it's 0.715 for circulated or 725 for uncirculated 90%. So yes, I would. There's
actually more silver in a modern commem if you take into account the wear on the Morgans and Peace.
Right, which is why I just straight up said flat out 775. I just gave the full number instead of the.
I'm so used to saying 76. I'm sorry.
Well, that's because of wear. so anyway, that's good point. I'd buy them. That's a good way to get silver cheaper. Why not? What's the price you fellas would dump some? So here's the thing. I said that, there are people out there. I'm one of the people that it would need to go above 40 or 50 for my personal stack. I mean, you guys know I have silver that I use in my stacker boxes on my website and whatnot and the auctions, but I have stuff that, you see it on the channel all the times, like the Kit Kat bar and my Johnson Matthey kilos, things like that. Those are my personal stack, and it would have to go way higher than 50 for me to ever touch that stuff. So, yeah. Gosh, I'd probably sell a lot of it at 100, depending on why it got to 100. If it just got to 100 through normal trading, I'd probably move a lot of it. If it got to 100 because our dollar collapsed, then I'd think twice. If that makes any sense. What about you guys? When would you dump? Keith says no. Keith's like,
No,
I'll die with
I've
it.
stated this before. I wouldn't dump it unless I could replace it for less. I mean, it's my retirement. It's my future.
Fair enough. Well, you have to dump it eventually if you're going to use it for
Yeah, when they
retirement.
tell me I'm going to be dying in 10 years, I'll ration it out.
So what you do is you be the first guy to jump out of a plane with a backpack with like 5,000 ounces of silver.
I would fall fast. Parachute or not, I would fall fast.
So I saw Rob shake his head no. Raven shook his head.
Well, I'd like to answer if I could, though.
Oh yeah, please,
Okay.
absolutely.
If I may, Seeker. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I wouldn't call it dumping. It's not the price per ounce of silver that would tempt me to dump silver. It's the gold to silver ratio. If silver jumped up to like $50, yeah, that would be nice. But if gold was trailing behind and the silver to gold ratio dropped to like 50 or 60, I probably would dump the silver at the higher price and invest more in some gold. So I wouldn't necessarily dump it, but I would exchange it for the lesser valued metal that I know long term would probably also be a little more stable down the road. So I'd probably exchange it based on the gold to silver ratio. But if barring any of that happening, $50, I would probably take a good chunk of my stack and do something with it.
That is a heck of an answer. I like that. Raven, can you top that answer, or you just want to move on?
Well, no matter what, I'm in a position that I'm always going to have to buy and sell silver. So, of course, I would sell off the stuff that I don't necessarily have any sentimental value in. And, like Rob, probably move to more investing in gold if the gold and silver ratio were the way that he described it. That makes perfect sense. It really, that's kind of the best answer I can give is if it wasn't sentimental to me and it hit 50 something and I've on average, paid 23, 24 an ounce, I've doubled my money. So yeah, I would definitely let go of some of it.
For sure.
I must be thinking crazy because I'm just pretty much a total opposite answer of you guys. But I thought the question was about our personal stacks. I mean, I'm a coin dealer, and yet I won't sell my personal stack.
Well, I mean, we are talking about personal stacks.
What's that?
We are talking about personal stacks. It's just the reason I say that I would move some of my personal stack if it hit $100 an ounce is because, again, assuming it hit $100 an ounce through normal trading, is because I know it would pull back. And so I would sell and then rebuy when it pulls back is my point.
I've always been watching the gold to silver ratio mainly because if I'm running out of room in my safe, for an example, and I could take 500 ounces of silver that maybe I purchased for $15 an ounce, and now it's at 50, and I can exchange that and go capture some gold at a better rate than maybe the gold to silver ratio has been before, then I would do that. And that is my personal stack that I'd be delving into. Right. But like Raven says, I have stuff that's sentimental. I have some, hoard bars from some of my other YouTube friends or other companies that I just, no matter what, I'm not selling that. Even if silver was $10,000 an ounce, I probably would never, I would never sell the sentimental stuff for me. That's kind of a given though. I don't think anyone's thinking about stuff. I mean, I have my Raven relic is never going to leave me. My kids can sell it after I'm gone. Yeah. But, things like that. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what silver gets to. That being said, I do want to bring up this question by Dante. He says a repost. I want to make sure I get it. He says, I'm 18 and pretty new to silver stacking. What's the best silver to invest in as of now, or should I just wait? Rob, why don't you start on that? You know where I'm going to start. My favorite kind of silver is numismatic silver. I think it's already fractional, if you will. It's highly recognized in any country. I mean, there's not a big question of its authenticity if it's just a normal piece of numismatic silver. I think it's easy to afford on a budget. I think it's easy to understand as far as premiums are concerned for the most part. For me, it's numismatic silver more than any other silver. As far as an investment or a stacking, if you're just getting into stacking and you're on a budget, that's my answer.
Right. Cool. For me, I would say if you're just getting into it, and you're worried about the premiums, to do what Rob said and just try and find low premium silver, numismatic stuff you can get 40% silver for. M4A2 just talked about the commemorative silver dollars that you can get for like 20 times right now. Things like that would be a good way to go. Basically just whatever's cheapest, because if you're just getting into it, you don't want to buy a bunch of high premium silver and then, look at your stack in 6 months and be like, man, I spent so much more for this than what its silver value is right now. And then you'll get disinterested because of that. And
Not only that, a lot of that, you got to be really careful. I invest into a certain amount of that ultra premium silver, but stuff that's really highly known, like Star Wars and Batman and things like that, because the resale on it's pretty good. But there's some of it out there that's like, a random theme that they did, but they're still charging $200 for one little 1 ounce silver, and then 6 months later you're seeing it at a fraction of the price. Or you take it to a local coin shop and they'll just tell you, we're only going to pay for silver. We don't care that it's an overly marketed item,
Right. Let me go ahead.
I think the price is important, but I think more so than the price, you should get a budget and stick to it. If you want to spend $20 a week or $50 a week, because it will all cost average out. Just treat it like your 401k, your Roth, or any investment. Just do it repetitively. And as they said, try to do it inexpensively. But repetitive to me is the most important.
Fair enough. Here's a question for you guys. This isn't from the chat. How much silver and gold would you buy if you won tonight's Powerball?
I got tickets.
What?
I'd probably finish off some of my coin collections with high-grade examples that I've been wanting for a long time, first and foremost. So after that, I have to make another decision.
I honestly would walk into a nice coin show and just literally be like, I'm buying the whole thing.
Just walk into a coin shop and be like, hey, how much? And they'll be like, how much for what? And you'll be like, for the shop.
Yes, sir.
I would put together a U.S. typeset of the best coin of each coin possible. And I think you could do that.
You could.
And I think you could. I mean, some of them, are millions and millions of dollars, but I still think you could put, and then I'd see what I got left, maybe a couple million or something.
Yeah.
But I would put together the best set possible.
I mean, a couple billion. I mean, the Powerball's $2 billion. Assuming you're the only winner, even after taxes, you're going to have, even if you took a lump sum and after taxes, you'll still end up with like $800 million.
That's something I wouldn't do. I wouldn't, it would be crazy, I guess you could say fruitless, to sit there and take the lump sum, because at $1.9 billion, you're going to get like $1.5 million a week.
Disagree. No. You know why I disagree?
Time value of money.
Because it's over the course of like 29 years.
Yeah.
And I don't trust the company that's managing it to be still in business in 29 years.
Good point.
I will just take it and I will invest it, and they can.
You would have to put your trust into somebody. I never looked at it at that point.
Right.
And that now I would have to take it. I'm sorry.
That being said, none of us are going to win. Remember what they say about playing the lottery. It's a tax on people that can't do math.
That's me. I don't know how to do math.
Yeah. You could be struck by lightning and then struck by lightning again on the way to the hospital because you were struck by lightning. And then when you get to the hospital's struck by lightning and the power goes out and you die in the table because they didn't have power to save you before winning the Powerball. I mean, your odds of being struck by lightning is like 1 in a million. Your odds of winning the Powerball is like 1 in 292 million.
Yes, it is.
I mean, all right. Let's see. I'm way back in the chat.
But you know what, Seeker? It's like you got to remember, if you don't play, you have no chance.
Oh, I agree 100%. I have one ticket. Don't get me wrong. $2 is fine. Just don't go out and blow like $100 because
And I did that last time. It was at $1 billion. I spent $100, and guess how much I got back in winning tickets from the $100? Zero. I think I played the lotto 50 times in my life, and I think I've never cashed a ticket for anything.
Well, that's why they can afford to give the grand prize winner $2 billion. But your odds of winning increase exponentially when you buy your first ticket, and almost not at all for the second one and beyond. The reason is because you can't win it all if you don't play.
Don't play.
Right.
Can't lose if you don't play either.
That's true. but you will lose. So just go into it knowing, like, look, I'm about to throw $2 away, but for a day or two, I get to dream about what life would be like with $2 billion.
Yeah, I'm wondering if my body could physically handle it if I won. I'd be like, look.
Yeah.
You know?
I think my wife's
Isn't it
worried about
ironic?
that with me.
Don't you think?
I've won more in a casino than I've ever won on the lottery. And you always lose at casinos.
Right.
Yeah, that's how they keep their doors open.
So Andrew Villa says, since we can get the 1 ounce bars at a lower premium, do you think they're the best buy at the moment? As Seeker always says, silver, basically. I mean, I think so. I think right now, if you whatever you can get that's cheapest, if you're wanting to stack, is really the way to go. There's people that argue with me when I say that, I wouldn't buy Eagles right now. They're like, oh, I'm only buying Eagles. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any problem with anyone else's opinion, but I have people that attack me because, and by attack, I mean they leave very nasty comments because
the premiums on Eagles are ridiculous right now. Even at wholesale, they're $18.
Dude, Amex is selling 1 ounce Eagles right now for $20 over spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm being a cheapskate. I'm paying $10 over for BU Rose.
Bacardi Jim says Discord. I don't even have Discord open right now, Bacardi Jim. Hold on. Generally don't. Let me see if I can find it, though. We're stopping the whole show. Hold on. Bacardi Jim.
Hey, Rob, here's your chance. Go ahead and say something.
It's Seeker Show, brother. Seeker Show.
Bacardi, that's funny. Sorry. My apologies. What do you guys think? I mean, I think cheapest silver. You guys, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. I got totally distracted. I'm sorry. Bacardi Jim sent me a picture of one of his poker chips. Someone told him that one of his poker chips were magnetic, and so he cut into it, and sure enough, there's a metal disc in the center. Not a silver poker chip, like an actual poker chip. No, Bacardi Jim, don't be sorry. He's apologizing. Don't be sorry. I checked. If it was a really big deal to me, I wouldn't have checked. So you're good.
Speaking of that, is there still a pretty good market out there for old silver casino chips?
Like the ones that are center silver outside brass? Yeah.
Yeah. Is there still big collectors? I haven't looked for those or looked at those in a collection in so long. I don't even know.
Yeah, the casino strikes. Yeah, I had a couple in my Saturday auction. I had one with Billy the Kid, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
they go 25 or better in most of my auctions.
So Chai Churin says, do you guys think more billionaires bought up silver, which is why it's harder to find nowadays until the mint catch up making new product? I was told once, and I don't know if this is true, so I don't speak it as truth because I don't know it to be 100% true or not. But I was told once that the reason the mint's having trouble keeping up with silver eagles is because the mint's not allowed to buy silver at above spot. And since, like Sunshine Mint, for example, provides the U.S. Mint with planchets. And if they can mint those things and sell them for $4 over spot, why the heck would they sell them to the government for spot? So again, I don't know this to be truth. This is just what I was told. I was actually told by a coin shop that I called in one of my videos is where I first heard that, but I've heard it elsewhere since then. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing though. If you think about it, if they can't buy it for more than spot, I could see why they would have trouble getting planchets because why would anyone sell it to them? You know what I mean? In this market. But anyway, outside of that, Chai, yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew what billionaires did with their money. They should send us some of it. All right, let's see. So premium spike began immediately with this Reddit squeeze. Went from 3, 4, 5 to 7, 8, 9 overnight and kept going. Yes, Jim, I agree. We commented on that earlier in the stream, and I still agree with that. I've even done videos on it. When the silver squeeze first originally started, I was actually kind of excited about it. I'm not going to lie. The first couple of videos, if you guys look at my videos from the beginning of February 2021 and maybe even into early March, I was kind of on board. And then I realized what was happening, and I'm like, wait, this is bad. And I'm glad we lost Coin Crew. He's not important anyway. See you later, dude. I'm just kidding.
Sorry,
just kidding.
I had to cough.
But do you guys remember pre-silver squeeze? Do you remember literally right before then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy. like I said, I have invoices from well beyond or from well before then. So Ivan Keogh says, "Hey guys, I'm brand new to stacking and collecting. Do you think it is a good time to start stacking? And with a monthly budget of around 500." So we already talked about what we recommend diving into, so we won't go into that. But I do like the fact that you said you have a budget. So like he said earlier, and if you guys feel free to jump in on this if you want, if you're going to keep that budget, just try and keep your cost average down. So make sure you spend the same amount each month. Find the cheapest silver you can and keep that cost average as low as you can going into it. But having a monthly budget's a good place to start for sure.
It's never a bad time to start stacking silver unless it's 1980.
Unless it's 19, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Talk about billionaires and what they do with silver.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So Bacardi Jim says this entire chat is void until Super Seeker gets a do-rag. What? That's messed up.
And a goatee.
Ricky Dona, here we go, Rob. He says he has a lot of autographed cards like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, and Barry Bonds that he asked them to sign he would never part with. Rob has some baseball cards, don't you?
There was a time, and I'm not going to sing the Aerosmith song, but there was a time when I was solely into baseball and comics, baseball cards and comics, and I still have a pretty extensive. Matter of fact, I would gauge, other than my personal stack, if we talk about just numismatic coins versus baseball cards, I probably still have more money in baseball cards than coins. I just haven't done anything with them. But yeah, I enjoyed. There was a big time, and that's all I collected. Spent every dollar I had of my affordable budget on hobby boxes and cracking out cards and trying to find good rookie cards and doing that. The hobby got destroyed in 1989 when they started going to Upper Deck and some of the other off brands, and then it really got destroyed in the late 90s when they started doing memorabilia cards, and you no longer could buy a base pack of cards from a store and have a chance at pulling a valuable rookie card. The hobby fell apart then, I believe, and now you got to pay big bucks to have fun in the hobby, and that's why I got out of it years ago.
Yeah. So is the value of all those older baseball cards like what you have going up now, or is it still?
No, there's a lot of dead sets. I mean, you could buy the ugliest set in history is the 1987 Topps wood grain set, and that set you could buy for $15 complete, and that has McGuire and Barry Bonds rookie cards and things like that, and no one cares anything about that set. They mass printed them, and they didn't stay up with the new Fleer and Don Russ cards and Upper Deck and people that came out with stuff. But you get back into the pre-80s, you get back into the pre-70s, there's some very valuable Topps and Bowman cards back in those days for sure.
Gotcha.
I don't like the 89 Topps set.
So here's a question for Robin, or for Keith and Raven then, since we know Rob also collects sports cards. What about you guys? Do you have any other things that you collect outside of coins and silver and gold?
Yeah.
What do you collect, Raven? And don't tell me Pokemon cards. Just kidding. Go ahead.
I've got quite a few really nice football cards and some sets from the early 90s that have still some good value to them, but I stopped for the exact same reason what Rob said, where they just started oversaturating the market, and you couldn't get anything decent unless you paid a couple $100 for a tiny little box.
Yeah.
And it really kind of ruined it all for me when that started happening. But baseball cards and football cards, unless you have the cream de la cream, it's really hard to get rid of some of that stuff, especially that wood grain set that he was talking about. That thing is horrible. I don't know what corporate, manager at that time, they better have lost their job for putting that set out. But I collect all sorts of stuff. I collect old, pew-pews and knives. And, if you're a coin collector / silver stacker, 9 times out of 10, you're collecting something else.
Yep. I mean, personally, for me, I collect Magic the Gathering cards.
Yep.
The pride of my collection is a near mint Beta Volcanic Island, which is the first ever printing. That card actually wasn't even an alpha, and I know most of you don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. But the first 2 sets of Magic were alpha and beta. The alpha set had a print run error where instead of the Volcanic Island being printed, it was an island. And so the first time the Volcanic Island ever actually made an appearance, even though it was supposed to be an alpha, wasn't beta. So I have a near mint beta Volcanic Island, and it is my inner nerd is showing, says that's free. Yeah, I know. I love that card. But what about you, Keith? What else do you collect?
Pet rocks.
Seriously?
I don't really collect nothing. I collected baseball cards, hockey cards for a while, but same situation like with these guys. The market got oversaturated. Now they just sit.
I think I've sold most of my non-vintage stuff, other than obviously, I was lucky when my son was growing up. When he was hitting that 6, 7, 8 years old, I started buying him cards just to get him into the hobby. And we put hobby boxes aside that he'd run through them and then just put them back in the box, and we put it in the closet. And him and I recently went through his collection, and I didn't even realize, but he had like 50 LeBron James rookie cards and 50 Tom Brady rookie cards. And I recently pulled them all aside, and I was going to submit them to PSA, but no, thank you. Not $300 a card right now just to submit. That's ridiculous.
And a year wait. So
I'm going to skip all the way ahead here because I saw something from apparently someone whose name I don't know how to pronounce. Where is it?
Michael McGahey.
Oh, McGahey. Okay, cool. So Michael McGahey says if we can get to 250 likes, he'll give away 5 more memberships. And if we can get 300 likes, by the way, there's 350 people here right now, he will give away 10 more memberships. So guys, hit that like button. Michael McGahey, thank you so much. That is really, really cool to do that. I probably missed a few things. I saw one comment. I don't know where it is. I was going to try and get to it, and I'll just bring it up without saying it because I remember what it said. He said, "With the premiums being so high on silver or on physical silver right now, why aren't people just buying like P-silver, paper silver?" I have an answer for that, and I know this is my show, so it's common that I'm talking a lot, but I want to get you guys in here. So, Keith, why would you not buy paper silver instead of regular silver?
Because I don't own it. I'm not holding it in my hand. To me, physical is king. I mean, if I want to own paper, I'll buy stocks.
Right.
Not silver. I want to hold the silver.
Fair enough. And I agree.
Get it.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like let's be honest. There's a lot of tech stocks that I have investments in, and if I wanted to buy paper silver, I would do the same thing. I would just buy more into those stocks that I'm already in. Like the reason that I buy silver is because I physically have it. Like it's with me. If it's like everyone. I get people that comment all the time. Oh no, why you guys are buying that crap gold stuff? Get the Bitcoin. I don't hold Bitcoin. What?
You got to remember too, Seeker. The second I sell my paper silver and show a capital gains, guess who gets involved? The government.
Uncle Sam.
The government. If I buy and trade paper silver and I make money on it, I'm going to get taxed. If I buy it in my hand from my coin shop and then I trade it and sell it for someone else, it's cash, or silver for silver. Uncle Sam doesn't get his hand. So if I can't hold it and Uncle Sam could tax it, that's not my favorite type of buying.
That goes to somebody selling me stuff. I tell them, if they sell me a couple $1,000 worth of stuff, I say, it is your physical responsibility as a citizen of the United States to pay your proper taxes on your
property. I do pay my proper taxes on things.
And you know what I tell them? But after you're gone, it's none of my business.
Yeah.
After they leave, it's none of my business whether they do or not. And that's pretty much what I say.
Guys,
I mean, don't be wrong. Pay your taxes, but if there's a way, just like with your taxes, if there's a way to have a write-off legally, I'm going to take my advantage and do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if I was going to invest in silver, I would invest in the physical versus the paper because that's another advantage for me legally.
Right. So guys, Brian with our first super chat of the night says, "What got you 4 guys really into coins and stacking?" I'll start, but I want all 4 of us to answer. Mine is very simple. My father got me into it, did it basically his whole life, and so I grew up with it. I grew up around it. And everything I know, I can say thank you to my dad, God rest his soul. I very much miss him, but he is what got me into it, and I think about him every day because of it, and thank him for it. Raven,
kind of the same thing. My dad was always into coins and numismatics, and he took me to the coin shops as a little boy. And what really got me hooked was digging through one of the dealer's buckets that he hung out at. And I found some really nice uncirculated Indian head cents. And, the dealer was like, "Oh, I didn't know those were in there." And he threw me one and said, "Here, take this home." And I went home and couldn't believe when I broke out my red book how much money it was worth, And once I saw that you could do something like that, and that's also what got me into coin roll hunting, was the same kind of thing, knowing that stuff existed out there for way more than face value. It just kind of clicked for me. And then the beauty of old school coin and currency was what also got me to be, stayed hooked on it to this day, to where I still prefer, old money compared to new money.
There you go. What about you, Mr. Rob?
I'm a numbers guy, and like I told you, when I was a kid, I really liked comic books and baseball cards. And I remember going to the little convenience store near my house and buying comic books and some bazooka gum. The ones that they had in the little bin. You just grab 4 or 5 of those for like a nickel.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I remember grabbing those and the comic book, and I think the comic book was like 75 cents or 65 cents at the time. And I remember giving a $1 bill and getting back and change a buffalo nickel. And I remember looking at my hand and walking out of that place like he had made a big mistake. And it was just a regular 1935 buffalo nickel, but I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen on a coin. And I remember going home, and there was no internet back in those days. So I had to go to the library and do a little fishing on the computer to figure out what a buffalo nickel was. Long story short, that nickel is what got me started, and I wanted to collect every single buffalo nickel that I could find. So I begged to go to coin shows. I looked for it every time I got change. I used to get change just so that I could look for buffalo nickels. And then I found an Indian head cent to Raven's Point, and when I saw that, I thought, man, this is just as awesome as well. And that got me into the older coins, and that's why I've been a numismatic type person for years, because of the older designs and the older coins.
That's awesome. What about you, Mr. Keith?
I just read a comment that I'm like, oh, crap. My husband got me into it, and I think he's regretting it. And then I realized it's my wife that did it. But a large cent, when I was 8 years old, I was walking those coin shops and older shops. They had these big bay windows that went down to your knees, the old school stuff like 50s and 60s style. But this was in the 70s. I bought a large cent. It was originally priced at 50 cents. The guy told me it was worth a quarter, and he more or less says, you don't see them that often, find one. I'm a very poor kid, so I pull all the money out of my pocket. I had 45 cents. He sold it to me, and I'm admiring it for a couple of weeks, and then I took it to school, and I was offered $2 for it, and I sold it because, I'm poor.
And that's how you became a dealer from day one.
But I didn't actually.
It kept reinvesting.
In high school, we had this kid, we called him the gum dude, and he would go to, I don't know where he would source it, but he would go buy like the, full boxes of like packs of gum, and he'd sell that stuff out of his locker. And he was like the most popular guy in school, just moving it. Like, I can't imagine how much money he made. Raven's like, me, I was doing that.
I used to buy things of blow pops.
Right.
When you were buying them, you were paying like 10 cents a piece, and depending on the person, it would be 25 to 50 cents a pop.
Right.
And and then red vines, same thing, 25 cents a red vine, because nobody else thought to bring it to school. And man, I made a killing off of doing that until I got banned from selling at school.
You was messing with a concession stand.
Hey guys, we are at I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we are at 240 likes, guys. 9 more. All right, so we're at 241. 9 more, and Michael McGahey will give out 5 more channel memberships. And if we can get to 300, we got 381 people watching. Smash the like, because if we get to 300 likes, he's going to give out 10. So hit that like button. I know, Michael. Thank you so much. Silver Pirate wants to know if we ever think the premium is going to come down.
No.
We kind of talked about that at the beginning. What do you think, though, Keith?
I don't think it will, because some of the larger wholesalers, they're big businesses, and they're going to try to make what they can. So they're going to try to hold it up as long as possible. And as long as they hold it up, the small guy like me, or even smaller, like a retail customer, they're going to be like, well, if they're selling it for this, I don't want to sell it. And it's going to keep the silver off the market as long as that premium stays high, because everybody's going to be like, let's wait for it to get more. We want more. I think that's what's going on.
So so what you're saying basically is like, if you reverse that, as long as people are still buying silver for where the premium's at, it's going to stay where it's at.
It's going to stay where it is. The
right.
bigger dealers will not lower the price as long as the demand's. It's just like you go. I hate to throw Walmart out there, but they have computer analytics and stuff that tell them this square inch of a shelf needs to produce this much money. And and these big dealers, okay, this particular type of silver round needs to sell this many in a day or a week. And if they are selling it, and if they're selling it too fast, they'll raise the price slightly. If they're selling it too slow, they'll lower it. But if it keeps selling, they're going to keep it up.
That's true. Absolutely. Do you guys want to throw in on that? And guys, we're 7 likes away. Smash that like from getting 10.
And I loved how you incorporated the profit per square footage on retail stores, because I did that for years. And if it's not selling, you might as well you might as well take a loss on it to create space for something that you could sell 15 times in a month.
So the Grinch says he ordered 10 rolls of 2023 silver Brits, and they're in horrible shape than anyone else. I didn't order any 2023 Brits yet, so I don't know. Did any of you guys order 2023s? No.
We got the Han Solo and Louis.
Guys, Michael McGahey just gifted those 10 memberships because we hit 300 likes. Let's see who gets them. Remember, it's not that we're not picking you. YouTube picks them on their own randomly from people in the chat. Big Todd 1776, Bullion Bear, Rockzilla, Dragon Silverkeeper, Troy Campbell, Silver Survivor, Colonel Cowboy, Bigfoot, Richard Mook, and Bobby Silvercrest have all been gifted channel memberships thanks to Michael McGahey. Thank you so much, Michael. How cool is that? Silver Seeker Beachside says, when do you think it's a good idea? When do you think it's worth buying a Sigma Pro? I wouldn't buy a Sigma Pro unless two scenarios. One, you're just buying a ton of silver and you're not buying it from like the big online retailers, but you're buying it from people locally. You're buying it, from small local coin shops, things like that. And if you're buying a lot of it, because you really have to justify that cost. The other way is if you're also selling it, because if you're selling it, you don't want to be known as the person who sold fake silver. So if you're selling a lot of it, you want to be able to test it quickly. That's the other reason you would buy it. But to justify those things are like expensive. That being said, if you're doing gold, if you're buying like 1 ounce golds and it saves you from one fake 1 ounce gold coin, it pays for itself. So, but it'd have to save you from a lot of fake 1 ounce silvers before it would pay for itself. Let's see. Jerry says I ordered 2 tubes of random year Brits, got all 2022 perfect BU. So those aren't 23s. I haven't seen my 2022s that I got were in really good shape. Let's see. I think we're in really good shape.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Just like ammo prices will stay high as long as folks keep paying that price. I think that's it for questions. Unless I missed one, feel free to hit it to repost it. But we are actually at 7:59, so we're about in our hour. Here we go. Ivanhoe says, guys, I'm new. I've only bought online, but I do have 2 coin shops near me. What is your advice on my first visit? What should my goal be going in? And what kinds of questions should I ask? Keith, since you own a coin store, I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to let Raven go because he works in a coin store as well. Those would be the 2 people that would probably be able to get the best advice on how to get your foot in with the owner of a coin store. Go ahead, Keith, start with you.
Just go in, talk to them. Don't try to be rude. Don't say I could get it cheaper somewhere else. That's the worst thing you can tell a coin shop. And just, shoot the breeze and then maybe buy something, maybe not.
Okay.
Just be a nice guy. And that's how you start.
What about you, Raven?
Honestly, when I first go into a coin shop, I'm kind of quiet. I'm checking out the lay of the land and seeing what they have. And, I will buy if they have a couple nice coins in the the display case. And the first couple times I don't, I introduce myself and whatnot, but I don't ask for any special favors or deals or make any, statements like, hey, I can get this cheaper, even though I know I can somewhere else, because like he said, that's kind of rude. You really want to develop a relationship with the person. And sometimes I've gone into shops, hit it right off the bat with them, the coin shop owner and I think the same way or whatnot. And there's a good chance that if you're polite and you strike up some good conversation, that they will actually just give you a little bit of a break, because they want you to come back. The prices that are out there in their cases aren't always set in stone, but there's also that thin line of if you're rude or perceived kind of, a little bit shady, that they're not going to want to deal with you. Secondly, don't go in there wearing like a hoodie and long sleeve shirts and stuff like that. Go in there with a nice short sleeve t-shirt and whatnot, so that they see that your hands are free. The things you're looking at aren't going to make them lead to think that you're doing something wrong by any means. Over time, go in there just how you want, but the first visit or two, I would literally just kind of go in there like a humble person and be happy with the stuff you get. And once you've gone in a couple times, then you start establishing more of what you want to possibly get in a little bit more of a deal, especially on the numismatic stuff versus buying bullion.
You will never get through my door if I cannot see your face and capture it on camera, whether I know you or not. That's just a security thing.
Yeah.
So if I had sunglasses, my hood pulled over, my hands in my pockets, and I was looking
that
down
door is not unlocking. It's an electronic lock on it.
I was just doing this.
Whether I know you or not, something could happen. So everybody's face coming through that door has to be captured on the camera and thrown into the cloud.
Makes sense.
Nobody knows the cloud.
Makes sense. Totally. All right, guys. It is 8:02, so we're going to go ahead and call it. But before we go, though, with 392 people here, guys, do me a favor. In the description, there are links to Raven, Keith, and Rob. Go subscribe their channels, especially if you want to see more of this, because we rotate them around, and we would not want you to miss out on an episode because you're not subscribed to whoever's channel it's on. Plus, they're all three amazing guys, and they definitely deserve it, so show them that sub love. We are going to get out of here, but we're going to start out by starting with Raven. Raven, what do you have to say before we go?
Like always, honestly, the hour goes by extremely fast, and I apologize if I kind of spoke a little too much tonight. I just had a lot on my mind that things are coming up, and I was like, just jumping in there. But I love these shows. We always have a good time. And again, thank you guys for coming out to the coin shows that I did. Seeker, thank you for the video interview. It was really, really well done, by the way. I know I've said that before, but I'm saying it again. And I look forward to the next one down there on Mr. Rob Finds Treasures channel in 2 weeks, hopefully, because like I said, we always have a good time.
That's right. Rob, what say you, my friend?
What say me is thank you, Brother Raven. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. And of course, Keith and Seeker, always a pleasure with you guys. Other than that, I don't have much to say. Raven said it all. It's always been a fun time being here, and I look forward to the next one in a couple of weeks. And hopefully everyone can add to their stack and have some fun doing it over the next 2 weeks.
Sweet. So it was great. So anyway, I'm just kidding. What about you? What about you, Mr. Keith? What say you on our way out?
Not a whole lot, except for, have fun with what you do, whether it be stacking coins, collecting coins, or, going to the beach. Just have fun with life. And again, I'm very humbled that these guys allow me to come up and chat with you guys. And again, they're all great channels. Check them all out.
Awesome. All right, guys. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you 2 weeks, maybe 3, depending on how life is. You know how that goes on Rob Finds Treasures channel. Don't forget to subscribe to him so you don't miss out. Look forward to seeing you guys over there. And of course, between now and then, all of us will have plenty of videos and live streams for you to view. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.